Hey everyone, and welcome back. So, Christmas is quickly approaching, and many people are looking to decorate their house and Christmas tree, such as myself. And our next guest is a Bronx native and creator of the DIY blog AV Does What, and that includes everything from upcycled crafts, tasty recipes, and pop culture. And she's currently a host on HGTV Handmade, and her goal actually is to help thrifty millennials realize that life is better when you do it yourself. Joining us to help make some Christmas decorations, please welcome AV Perkins. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
We are good. I am so looking forward to this segment. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because I just want to open up by saying, does she look really helpless here? I mean, she's a little naked. I was banking on this segment to help me get some ideas.
Just a little naked, but we're gonna add some razzle dazzle to that, and you'll be a-okay. All right?
Okay.
So the first thing I wanted to show you guys, right? Because since I do love upcycling, we have a lot of these rolls, right? Because of what the toilet paper apocalypse earlier this year.
Right.
So I'm going to show you how to make an ornament out of it using a paper roll, yarn, scissors, and tissue paper. This is completely optional, but it's nice to have. Let's go.
Okay, so what kind of tissue paper? Is that like the gift tissue paper?
Decorative tissue paper, but since I'm a crafter, I have all of this like on standby. You can use paper towel if you would like. It's up to you. So you're going to take your paper roll, pair of scissors. You're just going to cut a nice ring from it, right? So about 1 inch or so thick. It's fine. And then you're going to cut threads of yarn. Let me put this together right here, right? So this is about, 8 inches or so. Now the length of it depends up to the thickness of how thick you cut this.
Right.
You can end up using more or less, but you want to cut a good amount of these, and they all need to be at least the same length. So you're going to fold it in half. So let me bring you guys back up to speed. I'm going to fold it in half so it's a nice little loop. I'm going to put the loop through this. I'm going to fold it over and pull it through the yarn loop. Okay, so it looks something like that. And you're gonna do that a bunch of times until you completely go around the paper towel ring. So
it's good therapy. It looks therapeutic.
You can get your Netflix on. You can listen to a podcast. You can watch this episode while you're doing it.
Right.
So you fold, stick through the ring. So you still have your loop here. Bring the two ends through the loop and pull. You don't want to pull it too tight because your paper ring is paper. You don't want it to bend the cardboard, but give it a nice little firm pull.
So the other question is I noticed you have different colors, right? So the idea is to...
It's not necessarily different colors. It's because my yarn is dyed in different colors. So this is like a yarn. But you can use a yarn like this. You can use a solid color yarn. It's up to you. So you see, this is all from the same ball. Fold, stick, loop through, and pull.
I think this is a wonderful idea to do with children. This is an amazing arts and crafts because it's important for us to get our kids off the screen, right? And so this kind of interactive, decorative DIY stuff is really encouraged this holiday season.
It keeps them busy and it's not too labor intensive, So it's just working their motor skills, but it's not something where they would feel overwhelmed and they would feel really accomplished once they finished. So I'm going to just do a couple more and then I'm going to show you guys the next step. So once you have this completely full all the way around, it's going to look something like this, right? Call this like a big jellyfish.
Okay,
right?
can you bring it closer so we can really look at it? Okay.
Yeah. So you see all the bottom knots that we were doing, just like so. This is cousin of this. So you have it like that, right? You want to do like a little twist at the bottom just so it's easier. You're going to push it through. You're going to push all of these through. And, pull it through. So you're literally turning it inside out. So it looks something like this.
Nice.
So we're not done yet. So now that you have it like so, this is when the tissue paper comes in. This will make it a little bit, the form hold a little bit more. We're going to put it through there. And you're going to gather these strands at a point. Then take one of your yarn strands and tie a knot. So you're going to, and what I like to do when I'm tying a knot, I do like one loop like this, and you pull it really tight. And then you flip it to the back of it. And then you tie it again. And that's how you get.
It's tied on both sides. So it's tied on both sides.
That's how you get your knots really together. Okay. Tie it one more time.
So that it lasts.
So it lasts and it won't get loose. Because sometimes you want to, people end up tying like how they tie their shoes, and it'll get loose before you do that bow.
Got it.
Okay. So going to tie a little knot here at the top so we can hang it on our tree.
Mm-hmm.
Then once you loop that through in a knot, you're going to trim the top. So you're going to just give this guy a little haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Da, 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 da.
Or not, right? I mean, you have the option to keep it.
If you want your hat to be a little floppy, that is fine. The tissue paper that's inside, it gives it its form, and it looks a little something like this.
Oh, how cute. Oh.
Yarn hat ornament.
Super cute. Super cute.
If you don't want to make it into an ornament, you don't have to. You can just leave it kind of like, it'll look really cool like on your table as a centerpiece, or just, you know, maybe buy your place cards, because you're only supposed to have like 5 people there at your house this season.
Right.
But you can make those 5 spaces nice with this one.
All right, awesome. That's so awesome. So just while we're going to jump to the next item, like, is this the kind of stuff that you show on HGTV, handmade?
Yeah, I do. I love crafting. I love all different types of crafts, but I like when crafting is accessible, because there's so many people who say, AV, you know, you do that. You are so creative. I can't do that. And it makes my ears and my skin crawl, because it's like, no, you are creative too. We were all born with creative energy. You know, people may feel like, oh, they can't do it because they've been raised or they grew up to believe that they lost those creative juices. But
right, like, yeah, I know. It's like they outgrow it or something. Meanwhile, it's a mindset. It's a mindset.
It is a mindset. And that's why I say life is better when you do it yourself, right? Because we are all doing our lives ourselves. And I can't do this craft for you. I mean, technically I could, but the memories that you'll do, whether you are successful at it or not, those are the memories no one can take away from you. And that's what you're doing yourself. And that's what I try to tell people on my platform.
That's wonderful. And truth be told, we have been forced into a position of really reconsidering whether it's best for us to do certain things ourselves.
Yes. And of course, when you are doing things yourself, it kind of builds like the trust within yourself. So it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think I can do it, but I tried it and it worked. So now I'm here continuing to do it. And, you know, like I said, no one can take that away from you. And
so we don't have, I'm sorry, I cut you off. What was the last thing you said?
I was gonna say, like, as you get to know yourself more, you know, hey, there's certain things, that's just not for me. But you know, it's like a muscle. Keep working your creative muscles.
Right, and you're never going to know unless you try. And, you know, if you're doing it yourself, nobody's watching. So why not?
Exactly. You can do it, you know, you could do it yourself and by yourself if you want to.
Exactly.
So much more fun.
So we're out of time, and I know you have one more item that you wanted to show us. Can you at least show us the dynamics of it? I mean, it's pretty simple and self-explanatory, but I think it's a wonderful idea, and I want to make sure we share it before we go.
So this one, super straightforward. This is a picture of me with my grandmother. I'm going to just trim this just a little bit. A piece of cardstock or cardboard. Adhere adhere the image to the cardstock or cardboard, depending on how thrifty you're going with this. And pom-poms. You can get this at your local dollar store or art supply store, and literally just glue the pom-poms on the cardstock and the photo. So like a blend. So it's almost like a border.
Right. So it becomes a frame.
So it becomes a frame, exactly. And then you can take one of these lovely strands of thread,
right?
You did earlier. I like to
with
put
the other project, right?
the project, because waste not, want not.
Of course not, because you're the upcycler.
Exactly. So I like to put a knot at the end of it, just so it's more secure with the tape. Because sometimes when you're taping yarn, it can slip through the tape, and you don't want it.
Okay, right.
So you have this. Flip it on the back. Use some tape. Tape it on.
And again, this is another wonderful project that one can engage in with your children. Look, beautiful. I love it. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful ornament. That's another ornament.
Yes, and you can use your greeting cards that you might have received. You can upcycle those. So it's like, okay, you have it like there. Maybe the ones that you had from last season, you can make them into ornaments for this season. Just keeping the party going.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, thank you for bringing it here to us, AV.
Thank you so much for having
Coming back to your home borough.
Yes, of course.
Woo. AV Perkins, everyone. Thank you for being here. Love the DIY projects.
Yes.
And you guys, for more on the DIY projects with AV Perkins, you can make sure to check out her website at avdoeswhat.com and make sure to follow her on Instagram at avdoeswhat. All right, don't go anywhere. Bobby C's weekly sports roundup is coming up next.